I think it's so important for this Black Lives Matter movement that each individual really self-reflects and looks at what is the way that I can be the most proactive in this movement? How can I have the biggest impact, right? I think it's important for us to take it individual by individual, spending time in silence and really evaluating like what aspect of this movement am I most passionate about? Because there's a lot of things going on. And it's important that we kind of put away the noise, kind of think about, okay, like what can I do to have the most positive impact on this movement to where we head in the right direction as a community, as a country. And I think it's super important that we all understand that not everyone's meant to have this super inspirational Instagram post. By the way, shout out to all the people who are doing a lot of great things on social media platforms and showing us how we can inform each other on documentaries and different things that were presented and different petitions that you can sign, all this stuff. I think it's been awesome that those resources have been spread out so well. But not everyone's meant to make those posts. Not everyone's meant to be on Instagram sharing things all day. But you might be meant to go to a protest and be proactive in that protest. Or you might have a role in voting or just whatever. Look at yourself, look at your strengths, and look at what you can possibly do to have the biggest impact on this movement. Okay, not everyone's meant to do the same thing. I realized after self-reflecting and asking myself, well, what's the most proactive way for me to do? Because I don't feel like me going to a protest is really the way that I can be the most proactive. Okay, I think the protests are doing a lot of great things right now, but I don't feel like me personally, I'm like called to go to a protest. Rather, I looked into, okay, like what can I do? And I think first it came down to me educating myself more on what's going on in my community, what's going on in the people around me. I think I've always read so much about global things and focus much less on just the people around me. I wanted to make sure that the organizations that I belong to are making the right moves in the right direction, saying the right things, so that I can continually support them and make sure that kind of I'm on the same page with all the other organizations that I work with. And lastly, the thing that I realize I'm most passionate about is police education, is making sure that policemen are more educated about racial diversity and diversity sensitivity and biases and discrimination. I think that's extremely important that they start learning about this and that they change up the whole system of educating policemen. And so that's something that I found I'm passionate about. So the ways that I can have a positive impact is possibly paying attention to politics a little bit more, focusing on what's going on in my community and making sure I'm supporting the right people to where we head in the right direction. The overall message, it's important to spend some time in silence and figure out what can you do to be the most proactive for this movement.